All right, so here's the elevator shaft on the 8th floor. There's your fire exit. So you can kind of see here's the lot to the left, which eventually that's supposed to be Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville's pool and all that. And then these back lots will be where the building actually is. So, and then outdoor pool for us is over there. We have all the other pools, but there is an outdoor pool at the second building. So come on out here. So as you come out of the elevator, you've got 51. This is our trash chute, which only maintenance uses the trash cans. I'll show you where they're at on the other side here. And then this is 52. So come on in. All right, so you can kind of see, the floor. It's the, it's the thicker version of luxury plank vinyl. As you can never see in photos, here's some scuffs, so there'll be some touch up. This will actually put like the metal actual corner protectors on, because that's just getting banged from people coming in with luggage carts and stuff like that. So again, they've got these Myrtle Beach welcomes. They're pretty cool actually, like black and whites of the building. But again, I'm not sure how much of that they might be taking that with them because they took the photos. So all right, so come on into the first room. So we kind of see how this is set up. And again, this window, there's a window here, it just goes to the hallway. In the other photos, you couldn't see it. But the lamps, I'm not sure what they were talking about, because both lamps are here and there's two lamps in the other one. I guess they were just different from the other photo. But they do have a little shelf in here for, clothes, which is kind of nice. The 51 stack that we manage, we actually have a dresser behind this. So there's like a little dresser here. And then the TV is mounted here because the bedroom, we ran a different direction. So we can explain how to work all that out, but that's your access to behind the shower. Again, you can kind of see the TV. It's, this little tiny thing. Again, it's tiny because they wanted to fit it in over here. This is where the actual outlets are. But what you do is you run the cord in a cord hider up this corner, across that corner, and then you drop it down here, so you can just plant a TV, decent sized TV there. And then again, this looks like a queen. We'd have to measure, but you can kind of see how much room it takes up from this corner. I mean, it's quite large this way. Dropping this to a full, turning it sideways and pushing a twin against the wall, having one of these as, in the middle, and then your full over here to fit, basically kind of up to the door. That's a way to get 7 in here. So it's a little tight, but it is doable. And at least that way, guests are looking at the TV this way, and you don't have to deal with this like little tiny thing in the corner, because with it set up this way, it really is the only way to put is a little tiny TV over there. So just things to do. Bathroom. So all updated there, obviously. Lights, mirror. I mean, that's perfect. Just trying to see. I don't see a door protector, so this is going to slam against this wall right here. So there should be either a door stop here. Most of the time we put one on these. So you've got a door stop. Let's see if they have any of them. Nope, they have none of them. So this is another problem door. Let's see if we've got one on this door. There we go. So this is what you need. This one's actually already broken. So this one snapped off. So we need another one here. These are like $1. And then that way, you roll this out. You can kind of see the end of this is already broken. So you're just basically stabbing into the wall. So just little stuff like that. That's kind of standard. This one actually has the door stop, but if you see, it's totally broken away from the wall. So there's just these are the things that the management companies that when you hire that don't do a good job, in my opinion, the stuff that they miss and the stuff that we don't. So here you got, the tape has come off. This is literally like a 50-cent fix. You get a thing of plumber's tape and wrap it back around the threads and screw that back on tighter. This we're going to replace, though, honestly, with a shower handle that you can take off, because then the cleaning company can actually shower this off. Tara will go over it. We use this one that's got like micro killing bacteria head stuff. It's literally the one that's as seen on TV, and it's perfect. So kind of check the water. The water looks good. I can already see this thing's backing up. So this is a clear sign that no one has probably taken that screw off. You can see the screw. No one has probably taken that screw off and unscrewed that and taken the hair out, because this is literally, draining ridiculously slow. Another irritant. Something that we do when we do our changeovers. That's on the every 2 months we come and check. And I say we, it's Tara and Kevin, but every 2 months they come. So this is the plastic one. Again, our building actually, about 7 years ago, because of the toilet line leak on the 11th floor, required all of our buildings to put these in and make them the metal ones. There's a plumbing supply store that provides them. We'll want to do that because in our bylaws now, if you don't have the metal one and your toilet line leaks, you're responsible for all the damage. So big deal in our building. Most people have no idea about that, but that's just because owning in here so long. So all the goodies there. I mean, that looks nice and clean. I mean, this thing's brand new, so I don't see any staining down here, so we're super good there. Again, this is like brand new, so you can even see my reflection. Me today, just got a church, no branding today. So come on out here. So this is going to be our AC, and there's our water heater. So let's see. So we got the water. So this has got 319 on it. So again, I can't tell you, but there's the serial number. So if you can get in there and get a view of that, you can take this and do some Googling. There's the model number and figure out what year it was. Typically, I can tell you that the first 2 digits is typically the year. Not always, so again, do that. But since this 19 matches that first 2 digits, most likely 19, but not always the case. So, good God, that's what your offsite cleaning and other brands and companies. Here's the date. Gross. So, one of those annoying things that drives me crazy. We see this all the time. It's supposed to be clean and it's not. This just probably needs, a little scrape and a paint job. I mean, it's solid metal. But again, little stuff like this, we can make it look better. Again, here's the A.O. Smith, which the water heater. So it is what they call a low boy. So there's not really much room to get a bigger one in here. I can already tell one issue. So let's get over here. See if there's anything on here that you can read as far as dates. This is definitely the older A.O. Smith. The label for A.O. Smith now is green. So I can't see. So this thing is definitely on the older side for sure. I can already see another issue. So there should be a drip pan in here. You can see how the old laminate floor that they didn't pull up. And then they've got the drain plugs and things over there. So this is definitely going to be an issue. You can kind of see the broken piece of the plastic. Like this is the old drain pan right there, and that's what we're dealing with. It's basically worn out plastic. Normally these are metal, so that's definitely that would show up for sure on the inspection. We could figure out what that might cost, but not the worst in the world. So all right, come on in. So the kitchen, you got all the stainless. Kind of see they got Atlantica rules and regs on the fridge there, so that's in good shape. Looks pretty good. They've got it on the right setting. They even have a toaster oven. I don't know how much of this will go. We will definitely get a Keurig if they take that. Obviously, like we do a 4-person or a 4-toast toaster, so we do a little bigger toaster. Again, all this will be with Tara. So, but these cabinets are in really good shape. They put new faces on, obviously, all these cabinets, new hardware. So again, we'll have to see what, we put kitchen items on there to stay. We'll see what they take, but again, most of the stuff is pretty minor. I mean, the backsplash is really well done. You can kind of see they even used the right trim with, the grout difference there. So kind of get an idea there. Again, the stove, I mean, this thing is crystal. I don't even know if anyone would use it. It looks that new. So you got your stove. Dishwasher is GE. So again, somebody just ran that obviously because they had a changeover. So kind of get in there here. Again, they got a nice little plastic board there. All the plumbing looks pretty good. So kind of get this tube out of the way. I don't know how much you can see back there. Shove my arm underneath there. So we do have garbage disposals, so that's nice. Again, got everything chromed out here. Water's good. So the backsplash continues around there. So again, little knick-knack stuff. Again, trim. We paint our trim every 2 years, just so you know. So this is something that, you know, we're going to need to get some white trim. Get in here, paint these baseboards. You'll see around this corner here in a second. These things are tearing this one up, you know, because of these metal, these metal stools. And then they've got, these bumpers. So as people try to, slide this up and get closer, they're hitting this obviously with these bumpers that are just making it a total mess. We put ruby sliders on all of our stuff. They're like, again, as seen on TV, and they're amazing. So that way people can roll this all around, but they have felt bottoms. So you just put a ruby slider in all 4 of those, and all of this, I mean, it's a mess. So you can see these baseboards like literally all the way down, and then this one, because it's, people pulling it out this way, it's even all the way down here. So again, quick touch-up paint, nothing big. Little stuff too. Kind of see the scuffs. This is the stuff that I look at as an owner who's checking on, the cleaning. The lamp's in good shape. Probably needs a dusting up. Oh yeah, there's some dust up there. They probably haven't done a deep clean. The TV size is actually better than the photo. So this one's probably absolutely fine. We're just going to take it and mount it. Let me do a swing out here real quick, and I'll kind of give you an idea. So couch, sleeper sofa. So we got the sleeper. Here's the thing with this unit type though, because it's the smaller two, you'll notice there's not really a table to like eat on. So this is my opinion of these units. I'm gonna get rid of this piece of furniture. We're gonna take the TV mounted on the wall, and then we're gonna put a table. They make these like slidable, collapsible tables. So in a unit that has 6 people, or 8 people, I often see like tables that's only, sit 4 people. And it's like, you can't get only half the room. Now again, it's vacation. Kids can sit up there, I get it. But we're gonna get a collapsible table that basically everything, so it's like bench style on both sides and both ends, and it all slides against the wall. So they can pull that out and actually have a table and sit around a table. It's vacation, it's family time, stuff like that does make a difference. So in this particular case, you notice there's nothing under here. I mean, we'll put games and stuff in the closet, but there's like 2 things in here. I mean, it's a piece of furniture that's literally just taking up room. A lot of people, they live out of their suitcase. So we're going to get luggage racks for, the closet. A lot of people just bring their luggage racks. So what we'll probably do, this can all slide over. We might even get rid of this one on the way in. That's enough room for people to put clothes on if they really want to. Or we can get some bigger end table that, you might be able to get a couple drawers in, and like a, something like that. But you've got all this kind of, wasted space over here. That way we move this over, that goes away. So it makes the entryway into here, larger. And then again, we put a table against the wall here that people can sit on. I'm probably going to get rid of these metal ones because of all this damage, and put, maybe a different size in here, and make it a little bit less issue, because these are, they're just they're beat up. That's not going to be comfortable to eat dinner every night for a week. You know what I mean? Like, you're not trying to make older folks. Of course, older folks are more wobbly. It's just not as safe. So now you've got, this, and it's kind of small. I'll be honest, this table, if you can kind of get an idea of, the size of the couch, it's not terrible, but it's, again, if you're trying to eat dinner there, it doesn't even go really for both sides. Like one person could basically use this. If you pull it closer to you, it's going to be tough to get 2 or 3 people to eat there, all 4 of the other folks there. So again, just little things to think about to try to make it easier and more comfortable for folks. So that's the suggestion of what definitely needs to happen in there. Behind the door on the way into the master, that's your electric box there. Again, this is all redone. Obviously, you can see from the photos, it does look great. So again, under here, check out our electricals. So that's how everything good looks up there. Obviously we got some drawers here. This is, these are like brand new, so we got some towels in there. Again, this is probably plastic as the other one is, exactly. So we got plastic there. Gerber toilet. This is, I can already tell, this is not a soft close toilet. So these are easy to replace. They're like $3. This is, you want the soft close, not the, if I drop this and bang, you know what I mean? And it's honestly, you can see it's actually not the right size for this toilet. So that's like $5. Okay, there we go, into the shower. So here's the shower. This thing is honestly phenomenal. It looks great. You know, the grout looks good. There's nothing, you know, the floor, there is one or two, it looks like here, missing tiles. So we will need to get those replaced. I mean, it's probably not going to be a perfect match, but we need to find something, or we just need to grout this in because it's onto the substrate right here. This would definitely show up in an inspection. There's another one right there. But it may be just something like we just grout this in and make sure we just grout it in. So that way, you know, you don't want water eventually leaking down through that, because that's not designed to just have water sitting. Yeah, I can see there's some grout holes there. So this is just really needs to just touch up a grout, which isn't that hard. I mean, you can get like little quart size jugs of grout that's already pre-mixed. It's, you know, we've got to kind of match it a little bit, but that's really kind of an easy thing to do. And they run like $10 for that little tub. So let's go ahead and turn this on. So that's good. Again, the shower head, we're still gonna, I know this looks good for here, but again, we're gonna put the handled version in there. Again, that way we can actually, you know, the cleaners then can clean the whole shower. So that way you don't get, you know, moldy grout lines, all that kind of stuff. Looks like it's sloped good. So everything drained good. So obviously, you know, a little something there. Obviously, as it's draining, you know, if this isn't actually grouted right, that's going to be an issue with water just standing there, because then it's not fully draining. So little stuff like that. We got some hooks there. And we've got our linen closet. So they've got their vacuum in there. Extra. That must have been the old lamp. They were going to save the lamp head, I guess, but that didn't work. All right, one out here. So let's go into the master. Again, little nicks and scrapes. That's so normal. You know, we could probably do a little caulk, again, part of the paint job. Run caulk down that little stuff. Again, we talked about the bed already. This mat's gonna go. Honestly, the mat in the living room too. You don't want anything matte. It's just gonna get full of water. Then you're gonna have to start to steam clean it. Again, it looks good in pictures, but in practicality terms, mat's gotta go. So honestly, we're just gonna throw those away. Because then you went bare floor, that way you can, the cleaners come, they can clean the floor every time. There's not stuff getting under it, dirt, sand, all that. So they do have a built-in ironing board, so that's nice. You've also got two closets. So one's just, you know, your standard closet. They got extra pillows and some sheets. And then they've got this as an owner's closet. So we'll need to make sure we get the key there. Here's the new lamps. They actually have two. I thought she said they had one that broke, but they do actually have two lamps. Obviously it's not easy to get into that one, you know, with the way they put the lamp stand or with the stands. This is how we run these, because they have this like little notch out, you'll notice. We actually just push the bed over to here, pull this out and stick it in this spot here. So the bed is more flush. So you kind of have like a little cubby hole for the bed on this side, because if not, then you can't get into, you know, your owner's closet without moving that out of the way. So that obviously slides over and it acts more like, you know, the bed should. So anyway, little stuff like that. TV in here, again, I don't hate it. It's a Fire TV. It's pretty decent size. I'm actually probably, you know, I'm actually okay with this one, you know what I mean? Until it died, and then you need to get another one. But again, from the photos, it's hard to tell size-wise, but this one actually is probably 55 inches. I mean, you could probably put a 60 or 65 in here when you put it on the wall. If I was gonna probably do something, I would take this one, put it in the room, in the front bedroom, get a new one in here. That one, like I said, is fine out there. Put that on the wall. Again, same thing. You want to mount them up. There's like super easy mounting bracket for these. It's like $20 at Lowe's. It's basically like a thin strip. They have the same. All of the hardware to mount these is the same for those two holes. So they even have the screws. You basically, the other side of that slips the. It's basically like large picture mounting. So like one piece of metal slips into the other one to hold it. kind of like a lot of the headboards you'll see. It's like a little slip that slips in. They make the same thing for these, and they're super easy. And you basically just, you nail about 18 nails through the mounting bracket for the wall, and then put 2 or 3 in the studs. Typically of a wall stud. Ours are metal studs, so they also make, it's like a little clip bracket. Tara can show you how to do it. We've done it with all of our TVs at our houses. And then again, you just put a little strip for the wire, hide all the wires, and paint it the same color. You're done. So this, you know, looks pretty good. Come on out to the balcony. So the balcony on this side is a little thinner, obviously. So you'll see kind of, you know, it's a couple steps for the bedroom side. So some folks, you know, there's not a lot of room for stuff over here. It's just more for standing. But a lot of people do put like a little chair here in the corner side. But let's take a look. So there's your, and it's a little hazy today. The haze is actually pollen. So all of that haze you see is literally yellow pollen. That's what we're dealing with right now. Welcome to the South. But you can kind of see North Myrtle Beach way out there. That's our north side view. Again, here's your view. So you've got hot tub, kids pool, lazy river, and then inside you'll see in the video is our indoor pool and indoor hot tub. And then we'll come out here. So obviously we've got more room over here. They've got the polywood. I can already see their cleaner doesn't clean because this is, you can see all that yellow. That's literally pollen. Their cleaner just cleaned. They didn't clean the porch. This is one of the things on our checklist that if they don't clean the porch, we send them back out here and they have to clean it. So this is one of my pet peeves. It drives me crazy. The other thing is the track of these doors. Like a lot of times these tracks are just kind of nasty. You can kind of see the dust and stuff in there. This is something that we do as our deep clean. So we come out with our cleaner. That's on our deep clean checklist. It's on nobody else's. Also all this stuff, you can kind of see it's just dirty. It's mostly pollen. You typically have to wait a couple weeks for it to go away, but these chairs are good, but we're definitely going to want to put like a little bistro set and a little, you know, table and chairs so people can sit out here and eat. And then you can kind of see your south direction. So we do get a little covered up because the Roxanne Tower sticks out a little bit further than our side, but you can kind of see what your south. So that's Pier 14, that's 2nd Avenue Pier there. So it's not a purely both directional view, but honestly that doesn't make any difference. You can see the boardwalk. So that's where the boardwalk actually ends on the north end side right now. So that's where the boardwalk goes, and then that goes all the way to 2nd Avenue. It goes all the way to that other pier, that boardwalk. So you can kind of see, like, we just literally come out of our resort right here, our little colorful pad there, and you just walk down the grass in front of Roxanne Tower, and then you kick on the boardwalk right there. So, alrighty, well, I will leave you with the ocean view.